What's happening, everybody? We are back off of our little vacation. This is the Paranormies presents the Ahnenerbe Hour. I am Johnny Monoxide, and joining me this week, we have Adam Haidt. What's up, buddy? You're back?
Hey, what's going on?
Mr.
Oh,
Hazzard.
by the way, I have a job now.
Oh,
can't tell Skinny Adam to get a job now, can you?
That's right, Skinny Adam.
What about Country Adam?
Hang on. We have
They found his
Mr.
head in a paint can.
Guys, we have Hazzard McRee. What's up, Hazzard?
Yo.
All right. And joining us again, back from the dead, it is Death. What's up, dude? Nice. And our
Where
special...
were you during the Halloween show?
I know. Shh.
Yeah, I plan to come on, but not a big deal.
All right. And joining us for this episode, we have from the Intersectional Alt Right crew, Miss Bella Dashwood. How's it going?
Hey. Good.
Jeez, don't everybody get all so excited. I'm sorry. Did I freak you out there?
Are we supposed to do like the nigger whoop?
I don't know. I was trying to. Well, I was trying to do it differently because usually I say, it's blah 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 blah. I'm like, what's going on, guys? Then everybody like beep, 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 all at once. So I tried to do the.
Okay. Let's just talk more about Country Adam. I think that's what the listeners really want to know.
So what happened was Tyler went offline for like 3 days, and then when he came back, he said that they found Country Adam's head in a paint can outside the premises. So we don't have to worry about him anymore.
All right. So NSA no bully.
Was there any buffalo chicken sandwiches involved?
No.
Oh.
All right. Guys, we're back doing the Paranormies present the Ahnenerbe Hour. I'm pronouncing it correctly now, so people stop yelling at me for saying it wrong. It's Ahnenerbe. That's how I'm saying it. Fuck off.
It's your damn show. You can say how the fuck you
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. But
Ahnenerbe.
it's right. The Ahnenerbe. We had a big week. We did spirit cooking last week. This week we're going to do some other stuff. But first, we got to get to Hazzard. What's our social media?
We have a Twitter account at @the_Paranormies. We have a Gmail, paranormiespresent@gmail.com. And anyone that wishes to send us donations can send them to paranormiespresent@gmail.com. And we have 2 shout-outs to give out. Actually, possibly 3. We had 3 donations, really, since the last time. Mm-hmm. We had 1488 from Kevin. Thank you very much. Thanks, had Kevin. 1488 from Andrew. And
thanks, Andrew.
From the amazing artist Hollandia, who has done music from us before. During our Halloween live stream, he said that if Trump won, he would donate $100 to us.
And wait a second. Didn't Donald Trump win?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So.
Yep. So we got a donation from $100 from him. Thank you so much, man. That was awesome. We will use it to keep improving on the show. That's
right. Thanks a lot, guys. That was awesome. Yeah, if you like the show, like what you hear, feel free to donate. Now, we got that out of the way. We had a few happenings this week. Some Twitter shutnings. Apparently, people thought I got shut down. I had to verify with a burner phone account, but I am back on Twitter. I got zucked on the Facebook for a couple of days. Apparently, you can't point out that Jews run pedophilia rings on Hollywood and Washington, whatever. So,
who would have imagined?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Anything going on with you guys this week? Anything special?
I'm still just celebrating our triumph.
Yeah, congratulations to Donald Trump. Holy shit! Like,
right.
Never.
I had a spooky thing happen.
Oh, you this week?
Oh shit! Yeah, just hear that.
Please do.
Well, ever since we've been speaking to Weave about the return of the old gods, I've been starting to find some faith, if that makes sense. So I was praying to the old gods in the days leading up to the election, and I vowed that if Trump took the election, I would start eating better, start exercising more, getting myself into good shape, and just doing whatever I could to combat these forces that are plaguing our society. So after Trump wins, it's 2 in the morning. I'm outside smoking a cigarette. I look up at the sky, and I just say, thank you. And just at that moment, a bolt of lightning streaks across the sky. I was out there another 10 minutes. It was the only thing that happened.
Holy shit, dude. A bolt of lightning.
I guess it's time to start fucking lifting, because...
yeah, it's time to even lift, Hazzard.
Go back on a process.
It's time to even lift.
You have to channel Savitri Devi's lightning.
Yeah.
Just as it was shown to you.
That's right. So, you guys want to get into it this week, or what, for this week's topic?
No, we need to shitpost more.
We need to shitpost more? All right.
No, I don't know. I'm just...
Death is back.
I'm shitposting by saying things, and
That's right.
Praise Keck. Gentlemen, we want everything. We Senate, we House, we President.
Yeah. We renegotiating NAFTA. We negotiate with Russia now. We do all the things we said we was going to do. and as of yesterday, didn't Mike Pence start draining the swamp? He fired all the lobbyists.
Yeah.
All the neo-Cohens. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, and it was Pence that did it, the establishment guy. You know? I
mean, maybe I was gaslighting
Christie
liberals.
was more establishment than Pence.
Yeah.
Maybe the gaslighting about his extremity is actually going to come true, like all other meme magic. Maybe we're going to meme him into the next Ben Garrison.
Mike, suck a cock, suck the Glock, Pence. Yeah. All right.
Sprayed the gay away. Mike pray and spray the gay away.
That's right. All right. This is not any of the other shows. This is the Paranormies, and we're going to do paranormal shit or tinfoily shit or. So
we got a cool one for today.
We do got a cool one. We're going to talk about the Nephilim and children who are the children of the gods and old Bible stuff. So Bella is our resident expert on what ancient Bible things there. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I know I said it wrong, but could you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, basically what I basically do is kind of research with the Bible and kind of fix up where it like lines in with history. My specialty really is focusing in more on with the Jews and who they were in ancient history during that during the time of the Bible and who they descend from.
And
yeah, that's really interesting because I know Jews didn't really exist till like Jews as Jews instead of just Hebrews or whatever until after Israel and Judah like split up into separate nations and Israel basically got assimilated. Is that right?
Not quite. The Jews are actually, today's modern day Jews are descended from the ancient Edomites. They may have some like trace like Judahite descent in them because during the intertestamental period, John Hyrcanus, one of the Hasmonean kings, basically conquered the Edomites and told them to convert or die. And so what they ended up doing at that time and into the time of Jesus is they ended up subverting the Judahite, that remnant Judahite society there. And
wait.
It.
You say Edomites? So that's right is right?
They're right on that, but
hold up. So what you saying? So what you saying is they was kings?
No.
Okay,
they was Edomites.
They was
Edomites, but
so what you're saying is
the one thing that the black Hebrew Israelites get wrong is that they have no they're actually descended from
niggers. Oh,
yeah. They're descended from Ham. They are not descended from ancient Israel.
And Ham being one of the three sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see that broken down in anthropology. All the descendants of Shem are basically Caucasoids. All the descendants of Ham are, Negroids, Australoids. And then
the Abeloids.
The Abeloids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abeloid sounds like
just call them street sleepers, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, and all the descendants of Japheth are, the Asian Mongoloid races.
Interesting. So, So that is, you think that actually accounts more for the breakdown of humanity more than the Tower of Babel theory?
Well, it does with the Tower of Babel, but because all of humanity was united at that point, and then God's like, no, I'm not going to deal with this. Actually, the word Babel in the ancient Akkadian actually translates to Stargate.
Oh shit!
So what they were trying to do is actually
Stargate.
Holy shit! Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So what they were actually trying to do at Babel is open up a Stargate to,
right,
the third heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just like Evangelion.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've
no, it's totally fine.
got us off track with the Edomite thing. We're here to talk about the Nephilim, right?
Yeah. The Nephilim.
Why don't you give us what is a Nephilim? Or sorry, Hazzard, did you need to get in?
No, I was just saying. You were saying the Jews were originally the Edomites who were taken over by the, what did you say, Judamites?
The Hasmonean dynasty.
But so
the remnant. It's a remnant. They were a remnant of Judahites. Not all of the house of Judah. When they got taken to Babylon, not all of the house of Judah went back to the land. Only a small remnant of 50,000 went back. The rest stayed and eventually migrated off with the rest of the northern tribes.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we basically migrated into Europe and became the modern day Europeans. That's another story.
That's for another episode. Yeah. Yes. We are totally putting that on the back of the shirt, guys. Whatever our shirts say. It's going to have, but that's for another episode.
Dude,
we should get it, hold on.
The hats first.
If we're going to do that, have it be in the Cowboy Bebop font.
Okay, because I know what that is.
Hazzard?
It's just like one of my Chinese cartoons.
You get it, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
See you later, Spook Cowboy.
Oh, there you go. I do get that now. All right, I have seen some Cowboy Bebop. I have accidentally woken up in the middle of some Adult Swim on Saturday nights and been like, what the hell is this crap? But yeah. The Nephilim. They are what
are they?
They are the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men from Genesis, I believe, right?
Yeah, the fallen, basically fallen angels is what the sons of God are. But actually, the Book of Enoch expounds on this more, and it talks about how specifically 200 of the fallen Watcher class. These specific Watchers had flesh on them. They went beyond the bounds, and beyond those bounds of what they were supposed to do, which is teach mankind, and instead married human women and had children by them, which which were giants.
So the Watchers are the ones who married the women?
The Grigori class.
Yeah, 200 of them. Yes, yeah. It's in the Book of Enoch.
You said some of the Watchers had flesh. What does that mean? Are there some that don't?
Yeah. There's different classes of angels. These specific type of angels, they were under the order of Melchizedek, under the Melchizedek, and they have a type of they basically have a type of flesh on them. Well, when they fell, they went beyond those bounds and basically decided to procreate with human women, which is not what they were supposed to do.
Right, I remember reading in Genesis.
These are specific angels that you can see. You could see them, right in front of you and touch them, and, in this dimension. Because you probably have angels around you guys right now, but you can't see them, because you can't see into that.
Are they watching me masturbate? I mean, I'm not
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I never really...
Yeah, these guys have seen some shit.
Yeah, well... God damn you guys.
They've seen you shit.
Yeah. They see everything.
They see everything. I know. Well, oh, man. I don't even know where to go with that.
Was Santa a Watcher?
No.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Is that what the elves are? The Nephilim?
There's all different. I mean, oh my gosh, because I'm.
Wait, so there's different types of Nephilim?
Yeah, there's different types. I mean, you can talk about the if you've looked at the skulls out of the conehead skulls out of Peru, the Paracas skulls. I mean, that's
were those the skulls that the Star Child theory, like Dr. Lloyd Pye and all that?
Well, it's not quite the Star Child one. These ones are almost like coneheads.
Right, and the elongated it's Dr. Lloyd Pye.
If you look at them and compare them to normal human skulls, they're not human. The sagittal suture lines on those are not what you would find on human skulls. They're completely different. And L.A. Marzulli has, I guess they've gotten one DNA. Last I checked when I was checking in on what he's been doing.
You know L.A. Marzulli's work.
Test.
Yeah. I actually have in my hand, right now, a copy of L.A. Marzulli's Watchers 10. We have a fan of the show, Mr. Kaiser Schuff. I don't know if you guys know him from Facebook, but he was actually on an L.A. Marzulli's Watchers episode and got into the worldwide Nephilim cover-up. Damn, I should have gotten him on the show and not had Hazzard on this week. No, kidding.
Well,
but no,
at least I don't fall asleep on the show, Johnny.
14 hours of podcasting fueled by vodka. I fell asleep. All right, fuck off. Look, all right.
Hey, we handled it all right.
You guys did good. You guys did good. Okay. Nobody else showed up all day long. I was the Paranormies representative on all the other shit. Hazzard, you showed up for Bongo Bongo. You showed up for Bongo Bongo Book Club. Don't fucking act like you were there all day.
I was there in the debates too.
If you want to call that a debate, and then you took a nap
afterward. Let's
anyway.
Get into
it. So yes, I have L.A. Marzulli's Watchers 10, which our friend Mr. Kaiser was involved with. I've actually reached out to L.A. to see if he'd be interested in being on our lowly show, seeing as how we have a podcast and he has DVDs, but haven't heard back yet. But maybe I'll check, make sure the email's been read. But yeah, he's big into the Nephilim and all the cover-ups and stuff involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically in my state, they found giant bones here. And of course, they go into the black hole at the Smithsonian.
Of course. Yeah, that giant warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark that's like an airplane hangar. It's nothing but boxes. Yeah, that's a real thing. They found, do you remember, what is it? Was it Catalina Island in California where they used to have a museum of giant bones at one point? And the DuPont family, the DuPont, the paint company, was actually in charge of the museum. Yeah.
One of the Illuminati families.
Well, of course. The DuPont family was in charge of, I'm not 100% that it was the Catalina Island. Right. Yeah, so the L.A. Marzulli thing, I remember from... Wait a second. Red Ice did a big thing on the Peruvian extended, or the elongated skulls. I remember that. And they had on the I can't remember her name, the woman who actually runs Lloyd Pye's foundation now, that does all the research on the Star Child and whatever, that kind of stuff. And that you're saying that's different than the Star Child?
Yeah, these are more, the elongated skulls are different from the Star Child skull. I mean, that Star Child skull is large, but it's like rounded, and the eye sockets are like completely different with how they are.
What is this Star Child? I've heard of it before.
Well, the theory is that, okay, so you have evolution, which is, man evolved from nothing and the Great Big Bang and blah, 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 and whatever. And we just evolved from amoebas into whatever, into frogs, into lizards, into monkeys, and now we're people. And then you have the creationist theory, which is, God just made man and boom. Then you have Dr. Lloyd Pye, who is what he calls, it's the third way, where you have an alien culture that came to this planet, saw that there were things on this planet that they could use or integrate with, and they kind of did a creation evolution thing where they made man out of hominids that were already here, and that's called the third way. And the Star Child is one of the supposedly one of the skulls of one of the aliens, from what I can recall.
Oh, it's probably a Nephilim skull.
Right, a Nephilim skull, right. So.
Yeah, I do want to mention here, as far as when it comes to like creationism, I'm an old Earth creationist. I don't believe the young Earth creationist views. I think they have that completely off.
Can you now? You know what?
Can you describe the geometry of the Earth?
Oh my God!
Are we gonna go into flat Earth?
No, Adam's just being a dick. Stop it.
Hey, I have a Flat Earth Society T-shirt now.
You found it in the dumpster.
It was next to the dumpster.
Oh well, they were close to where it belonged. Anyways, I've been waiting for 2 weeks to say that joke.
All right, that was pretty good.
That was good. No, I've heard many. No, I know a lot of. I have a lot of evangelical Christians in my family, so I know a lot of young Earth creationists, and I know their theories, and I laugh at them because I have cousins that actually believe that dinosaur bones were put into the Earth to make me test my faith in Jesus. Okay, so what is an old Earth creationist? What's the?
Well, we believe the Earth was created by God and everything, but there's a gap between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2. So I follow the gap theory with that. I believe the Earth is millions of years old. I don't believe it's. I believe modern man is only 6,000 years old, but like the Earth in and of itself is.
You mean like modern Homo sapiens, like?
Yeah, modern humans. Yeah, 6,000 years old, but.
Not the 40,000 from the Neanderthal or any of that, or.
I don't buy that.
What's your deal? Okay,
I believe those are probably hominids that were created by fallen angels, which doesn't surprise me. And then God's like, well, I'm going to one-up you and do better. Here's modern humans.
Huh. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Because this is the first I've ever heard of this, and this is really intriguing. No, seriously, I've never, in all my years, have never heard the old Earth creation theories.
No, it's just the conclusion I've come to, especially just when studying studying the scripture in general, because there's just passages in Isaiah and even Job it talks about, and maybe even Jeremiah, they talk about how there's like no one on the earth. Like the earth was desolate.
Right. No, there's a lot of passages in the earth. Isn't there a passage in the earth where they talk about the sun rose in the west and set in the east?
I'd have to look for it if there is one.
Well, there's a whole theory of how the earth at one point flipped poles because of some I want to say one of the Nibiru theories where Nibiru came too close and it caused the magnetic poles to shift to where the earth was rotating in the other direction.
And well, if it was in the basically before modern man, anything was possible. Because there's so much about that period prior to even the antediluvian period that we don't know about.
Right. Weren't you saying earlier that Job, the book of Job, has a lot of weird stuff that may or may not even be like chronologically correct?
Well, no, it's just God will... Yeah, there's certain things in it where God will takes Job and shows him things. And it's not... He takes him literally takes him out of space-time to show him things. Yeah.
No, I mean, I love all this stuff. Like, and then we have the Book of Enoch, which isn't even in the Bible, but is very important to the Old Testament.
Should be in the Bible, but it's not. It's still in the... Well, it's funny. It's in the Ethiopic canon. It's not in, like, any of the
What's
Catholic
the Ethiopic canon?
So,
with the Ethiopic church in
Ethiopia?
Yeah. It's always been in their canon. It's always been in their canon.
Don't they also worship one of their rulers as God or Yah, or is that like one country over?
No, they don't do that, but they do revere Menelik, who they believe is the son of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon.
So while we're on the subject of the scripture, since just to give just a little bit more background on the Nephilim, do you know off the top of your head, like the sort of the entry level verses, like where are they introduced in the Bible? Like
Genesis 6:1-4.
Okay, and I mean, do they get described as the sons of angels, or because I know they talk about like giants, and I think what was it, a Goliath?
Oh no, here
supposed to be a Nephilim.
Here,
is that right?
Adam, I actually have it. Here we go. So Genesis 6:1-7. When men began to increase in number from the earth when men began to increase in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they married, and of them they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit will not contend with man forever, for he is mortal. His days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The Lord saw how great man's wickedness on the earth had become, and at every inclination of the thoughts in his heart were only evil all the time. The Lord was grieved that he had made man on the earth, and his heart was filled with pain. So the Lord said, I will wipe mankind whom I have created from the face of the earth, men and animals, and creatures that move along the ground, and birds of the air, for I am grieved that I have made them. So the sons of God came down and saw that the daughters of men were beautiful and had children with them.
So the Nephilim were so degenerate that God just pressed the reset button.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Oh God, what did I do here?
It gets worse. I mean, if you read the Book of Giants...
Hang on, Hazzard, hang on.
Doesn't it start off with the Nephilim originally being great heroes?
I just said that, yes, they were the heroes of old, men of renown.
Yeah, they were basically like your demigods, like your Hercules, all of that.
But they quickly became corrupted by the sin of man.
Well, they already, I mean, but the thing is with those is just, I mean, you get into what was going on there. I mean, they were, if you read the book of fragments of the Book of Giants, and even from the Book of Enoch, I mean, it describes what they were doing. I mean, it got so corrupt to where they were, quote, sinning with the plants, genetically modifying stuff, raping animals, you name it.
Good grief.
Wow, so basically,
just
modern day the West, yeah.
Yep.
Any cannibalism?
Just on steroids, just far worse, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Cannibalism, yeah.
So basically anything
I remember
Bulbasaur
was talking about this on the recent show, which, you know, that cannibalism is the ultimate end stage of degeneracy. I think he's right. That's such a insightful thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and these giants were up to like 30 feet tall or more.
Well, yeah, that was the skeletons that they had, that the DuPonts had in their museum, were anywhere from 12 to 25 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
they had hundreds of them. It wasn't just a couple; they had hundreds of them.
Yeah, in the Old Testament, I think it's in the Book of Joshua. They talk about Og of Bashan, and his bed being around like 15 feet, like long, and so he was anywhere between like 10 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the thing is
that feel when every human alive is a manlet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Ian Weber, BTFO. Anyways.
Yeah.
So they also named were there other tribes that were related to the Nephilim, or hybrids of the Nephilim or something, like the Rephaim or the Zuzims?
Intermarried with them because the Canaanites intermarried with them.
But weren't the Rephaim also giants though?
Yeah, they're a type of giants. There's different tribes of giants. You had like the Zamzuz. I can't even name them all.
Yeah. Yeah, the Zamzuza, I believe is what you said they were.
Zamzuzims.
Zamzumimim.
Yeah.
The Zamzumimim, that's the one, yeah.
Was Paul Bunyan a Nephilim?
Probably.
I know he had a big axe. Anyways.
Yeah.
And my axe.
Oh, it was Og.
Sorry.
Wasn't it Og had the Og? It was Og. The king of the Rephaim. It was he lived in the Golden Heights. And he had a bed that was 9 cubits long, and depending on whose arm you're using to measure, that bed was 13 and a half to about 16 feet long. That's a big ass bed.
Wow.
Og.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Og, actually, now if you think about it, Og, nobody really knows this, but if you take the term ogre and you take the etymology back, there is none really. So I'm pretty sure that Og is probably the source of the word ogre in the English language.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Right?
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have all these quote unquote like giant legends, especially in England.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, yeah. In England, yeah. And,
I mean,
and you have giant legends in the Bible. You have David and Goliath. You know, you have Goliath, the Philistine city of Gath, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
He was about 9 feet tall. And he was like he had brothers who were they said his brother Lami, whose spear had a shaft like a weaver's rod, which apparently is a really big thing. I don't know. But they were like and some of the other Gittite giants where they talked about they had 6 fingers and 6 toes.
Double rows of teeth.
Yep, and double rows of teeth. Right, actually, and there are really old photographs of giant skeletons when you can see their teeth, and they have double rows of teeth. Some of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? I mean, like these are modern day, because bones, like human bones, don't. Well, they're not human. I was gonna say human bones don't last that long, but those bones. How old do you think the giant skeletons that have been, shuttered away in the giant warehouse? How old do you think those are?
Definitely thousands of years old.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say millions or anything. I would say thousands.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd say they're more, well, because they interacted with modern humans, so like you would say within 6,000 years, right? Yeah. And if you take the stories of David and Goliath, and those are roughly 4,200-ish years, right?
David became king of Israel around 1000 AD.
Oh, 1000 AD?
Well, not 1000 AD.
BC.
1000 BC. Sorry, BC.
Right. So about 3,400 years ago, roughly around 3,000, somewhere around there, right? Okay, yeah. So these giants were actually around during the time of modern men. I mean, yeah. I mean, in the Bible, in Isaiah, they describe these men of stature. They called them, and these guys were like 2 to 3 times the height of a normal man, and like that's tall. A normal person back then was probably 5'7", 5'8". Yeah. Well, no, most people were men.
That's the sort of thing that Johnny doesn't even dream of.
What?
Nobody gets that joke. Anyway,
I mean, maybe that would have been funny if it was funny.
Right. So 2 to 3 times the height of normal men, and back in biblical times, men were not as tall as they are now, right? So 5'7", 5'8".
Height something like 5.
Probably around like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah. So these guys are 2 to 3 times that tall. They were 10 foot, 15 foot tall. That's fucking huge. Like Barron Trump is going to be like 6'10". And
implying he'll ever stop growing.
Right? He might be 7 feet tall. But I'm just saying, no. Like, the tallest human beings now play fucking pro basketball, and they're 7 feet tall, and we think they're giants, And
well, here's something interesting I was reading, and I was reading out of Tom Horn and Chris Putnam's book, Exo Vaticana, and they talk about the Nephilim in there. And they talk about how what's interesting is how a lot of the fallen angels came down, and there's like trace the Nephilim DNA left in like modern day Africans, which would make sense because if they're descended from Ham, that's where all the giants and stuff started showing up.
That would make sense.
Ham's descendants.
So they were built for brawn, not brains.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Surprise.
And also what's interesting is I've got a family member that works in, let's just say here, babies are born. And they have noticed a lot where with, like specifically with, quote, black families, a lot of it, they'll see a lot of the extra digits on like hands or feet. You really don't see it with like white children. You will see it with
interesting
the African American community. Yeah.
So you said the Book of Enoch is where they talk about the Nephilim a lot, and there's another book called the Book of Jubilees. Is that another one of the apocryphal?
Well, yeah, the Book of Jubilees is another one, but there's also the Book of the Giants. We only have fragments of that book.
Right.
I believe it was found with the Dead Sea Scrolls.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. Like I've never really read a lot other. I've looked at excerpts from the Book of Enoch. I've never heard of the Book of Jubilees, and you're talking about the Book of the Giants. That's something new to me as well. But like some of the names, you know, you have like Azazel, which is as close as you can get to Azrael, which is an angel. You know, like some of these.
Yeah, that's a fallen angel. Yeah, all sin is ascribed to Azazel. And what they used to do in ancient Israel is when they used to have to send out a goat, and they'd have to put like all the whole nation's sins on that goat, and they'd send it out to Azazel in the desert.
Right. Well, didn't we just do an episode a couple weeks ago where we talked about Azrael and other demons and fallen angels? Like, this is weird how all these keep tying into, you know.
Yeah. Well, I do have an interesting thing to let you know where demons come from.
Oh, cool. And aside from our old episode, go ahead.
Demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. They can't go to heaven. They can't go to hell. So they're stuck here until, basically.
Like, so they get stuck here so that they're just like, fuck it, I'll just be an asshole to everyone.
Yeah, and it's just, that's why they want to possess.
That really makes sense, actually, if you think about it. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
And they're trapped here until Judgment Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, basically till Jesus returns and sends them all there.
That feel when he told you that you were going to be released when Jesus showed up, and they just like took everybody else away and they just leave you here.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I'm scrolling through the Book of Jubilees that so much stuff that like people would call you crazy for believing, but I mean, you know, look at what's in the Bible, for Christ's sake.
I have to stop you. Hazard, you just farting in the microphone.
No, I didn't.
I fucking heard somebody farting on a microphone.
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm pissed
right now that I don't even know what's going on right now. Really? Did I just lose control of the show without, like, I'm trying to, God damn you people. And I mean you people, and you know who I mean.
Well, I think with this Bible, it doesn't make sense if you take the whole supernatural aspect out of it.
Right.
I think the key to understanding the Bible is understanding what happened in Genesis 6. If you don't understand what happened in there, it's not going to make sense to you. It's not going to make sense to you why the Israelites pretty much had to wipe out the Canaanites. And it was because they were genetically contaminated.
The Canaanites were genetically
contaminated. So Jews are the real Nazis.
Yeah, the Jews committed the first Holocaust.
They was Nazis?
Jews aren't.
Okay, look.
One at a time.
It's a joke. We're not being serious here. It was, come on.
No, Jews are not Israelites. They are the descendants of the Edomites. They even admitted in their Jewish encyclopedia.
Right.
1925, Edom is a modern Jewry. They know they're not descended from ancient Israel. But, I mean, basically, most of these Canaanites were freaking giants. They weren't even...
Right, so hold on a second. You said they had to eliminate the Canaanites because the Canaanites were genetically contaminated?
Contaminated, yes.
And contaminated with?
They were hybrids.
They were hybrids, okay. They were the Nephilim hybrids. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So to make the human race more pure, they needed to get rid of the Nephilim hybrid. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
I guess it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean... Well, hold on a second. This was before or after the flood, we're talking?
After the flood. Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. After the flood, you would think that, like, the Nephilim were destroyed with the flood, right? But there
Not
wasn't,
all
because
of them were destroyed.
Right, because there's a couple of references after the flood in Numbers where they talk about it's like some bad something about the reports of the spies that the Jews sent.
Yes.
The Hebrews. What is it with the Israelites and spies? That's for another episode, though. They always send spies in. They did the same thing in Jericho and everywhere else. The 12 spies. They sent the spies in, and they found Nephilim bloodlines. Right, and that was in Canaan, or
Yeah, they're basically giants in the land is what they said.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, there was the one. What was it? Who were the people that the spies said that in the city of Arba was the greatest. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim. The tribe was so tall that the weak-kneed spies reported we are like grasshoppers to them.
Yeah.
So
they were like grasshoppers. They were probably even taller than Og and Bashan. I mean, you're talking some of them were probably up to 20 feet or taller.
Right. And weak-kneed Jews? What a surprise.
Well,
Anyways.
they're not Jews again.
No, we get it. It's like, we're not, come on.
We get that. We're just, Bella, we're going to say that because it's
Like,
Jews.
we are guys who make fun of Jews. That's how it is.
You're going to have to get used. Listen, you got another hour and a half.
We all
of
are
this shit.
Jews.
Yes. We're all Jews here.
I'm
Did I say
Jewish.
that?
I'm Jewish. No,
I'm Jewish.
okay, enough with the drops of the drops of the drops. So, what was I saying? Oh, it was actually, wasn't it Moses that killed Og? Right? Moses
No, Moses was not allowed to enter the land. He was not allowed to enter the land at all.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I was under the okay.
No.
I thought that
He
Moses
had to,
was
yeah.
killed.
No,
Or maybe
he's
he
not allowed
had
to
him
enter the
killed.
land.
He had him killed.
That would Joshua would have taken care of Og and Bashan.
Right. Well, Joshua was in charge after Moses, and he was in charge.
Yeah,
he drove
so
he drove the sons of Anak out of Hebron.
Yeah.
And
Joshua, the specific tribe Joshua is from, he was an Ephraimite. He was not a Jew. He or a Judahite. He was an Ephraimite.
Right, but it was Caleb that actually killed the three giants. It wasn't even Joshua. It was Caleb.
Yeah, it was Caleb.
Yeah, and then later in the Bible, you have David and Saul fighting. I'm sorry. That's where Goliath came from. So yeah, so you have David killing Goliath, who was, Jesus Christ. I played David in a Sunday school play when I was like 6, and we had this like 7th grader who was huge played Goliath, and like I had to do the thing and where I killed him and stand on his chest and tell the story. The David and Goliath story is amazing. I mean, and it really, like, it's documented in history. That shit actually happened. Like, it's not just in the Bible, whether or not you believe it. Like, that's actually, these things actually happen. Like, these skeletons are actually there. I mean, you're going to have to break open that secret warehouse, but they're really there, And it's not, and it's not tinfoil.
That's what
Hazzard.
the
It's
Paranormies
true.
needs donations for, is to
Yes.
get gear
So
to
we
go.
can get gear to break in.
We need to listen. We need donations so that we can get that Mission Impossible gear that like Tom Cruise was using in the MI movies.
Also the stuff from Spy Kids too.
Yeah, and those turtlenecks are expensive, let me tell you.
Well, when your neck is
Monoxide
as long
being
as yours
certified
is,
Spy
Adam.
I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of fabric to make a suit that can cover my gut.
Well, that's why we're happy the God Emperor was elected, because it's going to be a lot smaller by the time we get enough money to.
The suits are gonna be huge.
Huge. We're going to need huge suits for Hazzard's gut. Okay. So back to the Nephilim. Besides the giants of Canaan and where else were they?
You find them all over the world. I mean, even if you look in like the ancient religious systems, I mean, it's in every culture you'll find them. I mean, Native American cultures, talk about giants being here. If you get Steve Quayle's book on, he's probably the best that's documented.
Steve Quayle?
Giants in every Steve Quayle.
Spelled like Dan Quayle? Quale?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking because I want to look this up.
But he's probably the one that's compiled the best book on giants and them being found in every single culture, all over the planet.
That's yeah. I mean, I have always been a big fan of the Ancient Aliens series on the We Hate Hitler network. I mean, the History Channel. Seriously, it's Ancient Aliens, Ice Road Truckers, and fuck that Hitler guy. That's the shows. That's all they show.
Do they actually
Don't forget Pawn Stars.
Oh, Pawn Stars. Is Pawn Stars on History or is that Discovery Channel? Why? Okay.
I mean, they have their own
No, it's
equivalent of it, I'm pretty
history.
sure.
We're digressing. We're digressing.
Where's it on TLC? I don't know.
We're
It
digressing.
don't
I
matter.
can't keep track anymore.
It don't matter.
Adam?
None of this matters.
I'm the one who did the drop first. but
When
you can blame me if you
Adam
like.
starts shit posting, we know it's real. Okay, so no, I mean I've always been a big fan of like Eric von Daniken and Chariots of the Gods, his books and whatever, and he talked about the Nephilim a lot.
Yeah.
So, what is Bella your take on? Now you believe that the Nephilim were actual descendants of angels or fallen angels. What about the theory that they were actual aliens from other planets?
I know they're fallen angels. It's just, to me, alien is just another term for angel to me.
Right. Yeah. I kind of.
I mean, I believe that
I kind
they
of agree
went.
with
I mean, I'm telling you, quote, fallen angels. They went to other planets.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. I just, I know what they are. I prefer to stick with what I'm familiar with calling them, but.
Wait, so they went from Earth to other planets?
When they fell.
They fell
from
into other
heaven.
places.
When they fell from
Oh.
heaven, when they got kicked out of heaven with Lucifer, they freaking were pretty much stuck here in this quote universe and pretty much traveled from and inhabited different planets and for millions.
There were probably
of
some
years.
poor suckers who just got launched into space to never hit anything.
There were a few of them that they just got launched into the nether and ended up getting sucked into a black hole or something. Yeah, I get it.
Drifts through
Wait,
space.
so
forever.
why would they go to other planets?
Well, I mean, there's obviously Earth isn't the only habitable planet in the entire universe.
Well, and if you're talking there's a invisible realm around us, and you don't need to be on a planet like this when you're in that realm, you don't need to be on a planet like this.
Right. It's there's the whole
oxygen and whatnot. You can easily be on Mars and be fine if you're in the spirit realm, as I like to call it. So.
right, the other dimension that's right here. I mean, I totally believe in other dimensions and that they're interdimensional beings and whatever. I mean, we talked about this before. When they did the Manhattan Project, they ripped a hole in the space-time continuum and pulled what they called a demon, but could have been an extra dimensional being, could have been an angel, could have been an alien, whatever. Through and those other dimensions are all around us because we don't know. We only know what we can see.
Yeah. I mean, you get into the Montauk Project and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
those
I
kids
actually
there. They were trying to time travel, is what they were doing. So they would send children back in time, and this is through different testimony I've listened to.
Mhm.
What did you call that?
But,
The
the
Montauk
Montauk
Project?
Project, yeah.
Project. They'd send children back in. They would literally send children back in time to get Nephilim DNA or you name it or whatever for experimentation here.
Yep.
In this time frame.
Yeah, the Montauk Project is actually a U.S. government project that's was going for a while. I've heard several different people talk about that from Freeman. Do you know Freeman, Bella, at all? Do you know who that is? This guy's got a website. He goes by Freeman Fly. He does a lot of stuff on MK Ultra. And,
Yeah, I've heard of him.
him and
Sounds
his
familiar.
wife. I can't remember his wife's name off the top of my head right now, but they do. It's one of the ways I got into. Actually, he's one of the ways I found Red Ice, which is how I found my way into the alt right. So if it wasn't for my crazy conspiracy, listening to Nephilim and that kind of stuff, I wouldn't even be here right now.
Well, that's how I got red pilled too. It's funny. I was.
Good. Hold on a second. We got a red pill story. Go ahead.
Well, how I got red pilled is this was after Obama's re-election, and I was just kind of screw this. I got to get my mind off this. So I really started researching on Genesis 6 because I had some exposure to it because my father, who, anyways, he has his undergraduate degree in ancient and basically Old Testament theology, but he he wrote in college, written a paper about Genesis 6 and intertestamental literature and all of that. And so I reread it and it kind of piqued my interest. So I started researching it more. And just as I'm researching and listening and watching stuff on YouTube, I come across the whole Khazarian conspiracy documentary, and I watched that, and I woke up immediately on the JQ after like watching that. And it's just because I was researching what was going on with Genesis.
So that's how you got over to here?
Yes, eventually, and then eventually got more woken up after that, waking up on the JQ. I eventually woke up on race realism issues, and then I decided because of that, I decided to research the whole Lost Tribes of Israel thing.
Interesting.
And realizing we're the Lost Tribes of Israel are us white people, and that's how I got into the alt right.
Oh, so you're into like Christian
genocide.
identity?
I'm CI, but I'm not like a strict CI. I don't agree with them on everything in their theology.
Okay.
But historically, it's the most accurate. And I've looked at it, and I mean, it's like I kind of grew up CI because of my grandfather. He always insisted that we were descended from, the Lost Tribes of Israel. I couldn't wrap my head around it at the time because I was so young.
Huh.
11, 12 years old, I'm like, we're Jewish? Because it really didn't make sense to me, because I was still kind of getting bombarded with like evangelical dispensationalist theology. So it didn't make sense to me at the time, but now it does. And then I've looked at the whole missing. I've read E. Raymond Capp's book, missing links in the Assyrian tablets, and he's an archaeologist. He's a Christian archaeologist, and he pretty much documents how the Lost Tribes of Israel, how our people got into Europe, became modern day Europeans. Yeah.
Hold on. That's really far out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, if you look at the ancient Anglo-Saxon language, the runes, it is so similar to Paleo-Hebrew and how it's constructed.
Yeah, it really is. It's very similar yeah.
Because Paleo-Hebrew is nothing like this modernized, bastardized, what they call Hebrew.
No.
It's really not even Hebrew. It's got like an Aramaic script on it. And it's not the Hebrew.
Well, Aramaic is another language that gets dismissed very easily. Yeah. So, where are we at now? Are we still in the Bible?
Yeah, I was actually reading. I've been trying to work my way through the book, the Genesis 6 conspiracy.
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second. You've been trying to work your way through what?
It's this new book I've been reading. It's called the Genesis 6 conspiracy. It talks about how secret societies and are pretty much trying to take over our planet. But
you mean there's a secret group of people trying to take over the planet? Nuh-uh. Yeah. I mean, we keep exposing them like week after week. Yeah, now we know that there's a group of satanic pedophiles at the head of the United States government. So I mean, like, why wouldn't there be a larger conspiracy? And also, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but here's the theory: is you guys know the Ninja Turtles like pizza, right?
Yeah.
So that face when the Ninja Turtles were telling you that the reptilians were looking for, child pornography the whole time.
Holy shit.
Wait, are you saying that... Wait, I'm confused.
The turtles are reptiles. They like cheese pizza. The artists of the Ninja Turtles were trying to tell us that the reptilians were into little kids.
Well, that's not surprising.
You know that...
Reptilians... I got something interesting to tell you. The reptilians are actually a byproduct of the Nephilim. They were created by the Nephilim.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait.
Hold on a second.
Where the hell am I?
Hold on a second. Now, Bella, I'd like to hear that theory, but we're coming up on the end of the first hour.
Okay.
So, let's hang on to that one for a minute. Hazzard, do we have any music for this week?
Yeah, we'll have music.
In other words, Hazzard doesn't know. Neither do I. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I could always like expand that one thing and put it on.
Do you want? Can we do that? Can we do that this week, Death?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
This
week's music break, ladies and gentlemen, is from the other side. This is Death. Everybody, we're back from break. Everybody's back. I'm still Johnny Monoxide. I'm still here with Adam Haidt, Hazzard McRee, Death, and Bella Dashwood, and this is still the Paranormies present the Ahnenerbe Hour, and we are still talking about the Nephilim and the children of the gods. And Bella, you were going to tell us something about the reptilians, the Nephilim.
Yeah, actually, the reptilians, they were created by the Nephilim using their own DNA. They were created specifically as kind of like a military force.
Whoa. So like they cloned themselves into...
Well, yeah, they manipulated their DNA. But yeah, if you listen to the testimony of Carolyn Hamlet, you can find her on YouTube. Or you can check her blog.
Carolyn Hamlet?
Yes. Or check her blog Beyond the Physical Realm.
As in small ham.
Yeah. .blogspot.com. She talks about it. And they replicate different. They reproduce differently than us. It's through a replication process. And it's basically...
So kind of cloning.
It's kind of, cloning almost cloning type of technology they do.
Ancient cloning.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But so it's through cloning technology, but there's certain bloodlines you have to be born into so that they can, a lot of these Illuminati bloodlines have basically reptilian DNA in them, which is why they're able to be perfectly possessed by them.
Is it the 300 families or something? The Illuminati bloodlines? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'd have to...
I don't know. There's a book called like the 300 Families or something.
Bloodlines of the Illuminati.
That's
by Fritz Springmeier.
So wait, these Illuminati families can be possessed by the reptilians?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they're possessed by fallen angels. There's no doubt about that too.
So the reptilians are fallen angels that possess people.
Well, yeah, they're a type of they're not a fallen angel, but they're a type of Nephilim. They're Nephilim-like creation.
So they're an incorporeal being.
Yeah.
Hazzard bringing out the 50-cent words. Incorporeal? Did I say it right?
Yeah, they don't have
A
bodies.
spirit being.
Right, okay, a spirit being. Okay, a spirit being. Yeah. So, now you were saying how the reptilians were offspring of the Nephilim, right?
Yes.
And they were offspring of the Nephilim and reptiles? Or...
It wouldn't surprise me if when they were... Because they did, like, antediluvian technology was so much greater than probably what we have today at that time. Because when God really flooded this planet, he flooded it back to the Stone Age. But, yeah, their technology was greater. They were doing... it probably wasn't exactly the same as ours, but...
Hold on, they had better than the iPhone 6 Plus?
Yeah.
What?
The fuck
Yeah,
out of
you
here.
may want... Yeah.
Implying the iPhone is worth a shit.
That was what I was... Basically what I was saying, Death.
Oh yeah, Johnny, that iPhone you sent me died. I don't know why, it just won't charge.
Sorry, bro.
It went kaput.
Don't everybody get all excited. I'm not sending anybody else a phone. Fuck off.
Oh.
Daddy's phonies.
Stop it!
Literally nobody in the world is gonna get that.
No, I know, and we're not going to do it. So you were saying, Bella, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where was I? But yeah, the technology was greater. You know, it's just as... It's probably greater than what we have now. Although we're making great leaps and bounds, like, within the last 100 years.
Yeah.
But
I've seen some of the...
they're manipulating DNA back then. So, just like today.
That's what I was going to say. I've seen some of the ancient, like, carvings of things that were... I don't know if they're necessarily antediluvian or post-diluvian or whatever, but they show, like, carvings of DNA and things that you wouldn't be able to see without technology that we have now. Like, we can barely see DNA with an electron microscope, you know, and these people were carving this shit into stone thousands of years ago. So, you know, they could have seen it back then, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just realized that I was the one that threw that whole thing into shit posting. Anyway, I yelled at everybody at the end. I'm like, stop it! Oh wait, you started it. Okay. Hey. So, this is some really interesting stuff. I mean, like, you wanted to talk about some of the other old gods too?
Yeah. I mean, I think all the stuff with Greek mythology, I believe it actually happened.
Oh my God,
I believe it happened I just believe it happened during the antediluvian period.
Mm-hmm. All the stories. When I was a kid, I used to read the Greek and Roman mythology stuff over and over. I loved all those stories, the heroes and the gods and like Jacob and the Argonauts and all that stuff. And it was so amazing. I'm sorry, Jason and the Argonauts. What did I say?
That was a really sick movie.
I said Jason and the Argonauts, right?
You said Jacob.
I said Jacob.
Oh, I said Jacob? I'm sorry.
It don't matter.
I'm thinking Jacob and Esau, but that's a whole other thing in the Bible. You know, I'm getting all mixed up and miscommunicated. I'm sorry. This is, you know what I meant. Jason and the Argonauts. All right. And this, like, Medusa and, you know, and the sirens and all the other things. And it was like, but now, no, that never happened. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Those things happened. Like, people didn't just make that shit up and it ended up being carved into stone and passed down for thousands and thousands of years. You know? I mean, I honestly...
What do you think what are the old gods in your opinion? Are they Nephilim? Because I know Zeus liked to bang, you know, like human women all the time.
Zeus liked it.
I assume Hercules had children Nephilim at least.
Zeus had children with humans on more than one occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, that all happened during the antediluvian.
Right, and the other thing is that two different groups of people, was it the Norse and the Romans, were believing basically in the same gods at the same time, they just called them different names?
Yeah, they get called different names because of the Tower of Babel.
Right, because of the language split.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've got all these different cultures, but it's the same pantheon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like I said, I used to read about all that stuff when I was a kid, and it made me sad that none of that stuff was happening now. You know, it's like I gotta go to work.
Well, here's something I do want to bring up. What's interesting with Legend of Atlantis.
With what?
And just with with the whole legendization of Atlantis. What's interesting is like today's modern day Freemasons, they want to recreate that whole Atlantean antediluvian age, which at the time is interesting. It had 10 kingdoms with 10 governments, 10 kings.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to do that the same thing. The New World wants to do the same thing. They have the world split up into like 10 zones.
Well, holy shit. We had some technical difficulties and we're back. Sorry about that, Graham. Bella, you were talking about Atlantis.
Well, yeah, what's kind of interesting here with Atlantis is that with Freemasons, they'd actually like to recreate that like Atlantean, like pre-flood era, which had 10 kingdoms and 10 governments with 10 kings. And what's interesting is that's pretty much what the New World Order wants to do now. They've had the world split up into 10 different zones. It'll eventually be ruled by 10 different rulers.
Are there 10 time zones?
Huh?
Are there 10 time zones? Is that what it is?
No, they're the land masses.
Oh, 10 land masses.
They talk about splitting it off. The New World Order talks about splitting it off into like 10 different zones.
Okay.
And doing the same thing. And it's kind of like what Solomon talks about in Ecclesiastes, like kind of like what's old is new again. It's the same thing, nothing new under the sun.
Right.
The same plan, thousands of years old, and it's still here.
That. You know what? That's one of the things from the Bible that people don't even really. Yeah, nothing new under the sun. They've been trying this for years and years. It's the exact same plan, the exact same strategy. It's just different faces. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's amazing how nobody's noticed yet. Well, some people have. Some people have. We have, and we're mad about it on Twitter.
Because we're woke.
We woke.
We woke!
Oh, Hazzard's woke. Woke as fuck. But, now, do we want to get into Atlantis at all tonight? Or, like, we're going to do that at another time? Or what? Like, because Atlantis is...
You could do that. You'd almost have to devote a whole show specifically to that.
I love I love the whole Atlantis and the Atlantean with the... What do you think of the Pleiadians?
Pleiadians, it's just another name for fallen angels.
It's always angels with you.
It's just another, to me, it's just another, because they're just part of, to me, it's just another part of Lucifer's hierarchy.
Right, what about the whole System Buster theory?
System Buster?
Yeah, the Pleiadians and they're System Busters.
No, it's just part of it's all part of his hierarchy.
It's part of the hierarchy of angels.
The hierarchy in Lucifer's hierarchy.
I'm sorry, Lucifer. Okay, yeah, right. Which tops off with Lucifer, and then right under him is like Azrael and
whatever other I think Azazel is specifically locked up. He's in freaking Tartarus.
In where? Hold on, where?
Tartarus.
What exactly? Tartarus. Okay, what's Tartarus?
Oh, I get that when I get fish and chips.
No, that's tartar sauce.
You don't even know Greek
Adam,
mythology what Tartarus is?
Thank you, Johnny Monoxide. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't realize that.
Titans got sent.
Oh, yes, where the Titans got sent. Yeah, Tartarus, yes.
Yeah, that's
that was Greek mythology.
It is Greek mythology. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also used in the Greek language, and they use it in the Old Testament. And Peter talks about how the angels that sinned are in Tartarus. He didn't use Hades, abode of the dead. No, he used Tartarus, which is like the worst place you could go to. That's where they're locked up.
So it's like super hell?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like super jail for demons. Interesting.
For fallen angels.
For fallen angels. Now, okay, so how the Greek mythology and the Roman mythology ties in with like the Nephilim story and whatever. Who would you consider, say, Hercules?
Hercules would just be Hercules would probably be considered like one of your third or fourth generation Nephilim.
So he would have been like a giant. He would have been like a really big dude, basically.
Yeah, because when you look at the whole, it's just when you look at the whole antediluvian period, that whole period of like the giants when they came down in the days of fallen angels came down in the days of Jared and started having children with human women. That period from that to the flood is like around 1,000 years. That was considered their quote unquote golden age.
Okay, so what about the quote unquote monsters from the like the mythology?
Monsters?
Stop it.
Oh, I'm sure they were real.
No, like I mean, like
probably
like Medusa, like, you know, the sirens, like those. The bad.
So there weren't just male monsters. There were monster girls too, Bella.
Oh yeah, I have.
You're playing right into.
Well, that's great to know.
Into his paws, and by paws I mean paws.
Well, you talk about them, you know. It talks about with the whole Enoch, how they were.
I mean, I'm always down to talk about monster girls.
Well, they were I mean, where do you think the centaurs came from and all of that? They were mixing animal DNA together.
Right. So the centaurs.
Who do you think Medusa was? She's a woman with snakes on her head.
So you're saying that these Nephilim did in fact merge their DNA somehow with reptiles and other animals?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's recorded in the Book of Enoch and in the Book of.
The Book of Enoch and the Book of what?
The Book of Giants.
Oh, the Book of Giants. That's the fragments of the Book of Giants, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah, you can pick out stuff and you know what they're.
Is that online? The Book of Giants, or? Mm-hmm. Okay,
yeah,
I want to look that. I want to look that up because like this is literally the first time I've heard of that. Like I've heard of the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilee, like I said, is new to me, and the Book of Giants is new to me, which is amazing. Because I've been reading about giants for many, many, many years. Yeah, and like I said before, it's no surprise that there's an Illuminati family in charge of taking care of the bones of the giants. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Coincidental.
Yeah.
It's pure coincidence, Goy. So, okay, so we did all the Atlantis story stuff? Are we done with that?
Yeah, Atlantis is for another episode.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, so where are we going? Where are we going now, guys? We're about halfway through the second hour. We've talked about reptilians being offspring of the Nephilim, who are the children of the gods who were fallen angels. Shit, dude.
So there were antediluvian Nephilim that mostly were destroyed, but then the Bible talks about some afterward, right? So you said that you think that there's people with reptile DNA today, and possibly a lot of Negroids that still have, you know, like scraps basically of Nephilim DNA. Do they play a very significant role today at all, besides just sort of being relics?
I mean, most of them, and I mean, of them today are mostly, I mean, they're relics of it. I mean, but you can, like, quote, plaques out. They're probably some of the people on the planet.
You just broke up really
Just in
bad. I missed that whole answer to the question. I'm sorry, Bella. Adam, can you ask that one more time? Because I'm the one recording and I have to hear it. So if I don't hear it, it didn't happen.
Okay. So I asked, the Nephilim existed before the flood, and then they were mostly destroyed. There was a few left, but in a modern context, what do they do besides just sort of be relics and show up in scraps in people's DNA sometimes as negroids with multiple or too many digits, or the reptilian people?
No, I mean, the thing is the fallen. It's funny with the people with like the high amount of Nephilim DNA in them. Usually end up are the ones being abducted by quote unquote aliens.
Huh.
So the Nephilim trying to recover the DNA.
Say, who are the aliens?
Who do you think? Aliens are part of quote unquote Lucifer's hierarchy.
So they're the Nephilim, trying to get they're the angels trying to get their people back.
Well, yeah, and what they're trying to do is because look, at the end of time, when he's Lucifer right now, when it comes to the armies of heaven, he is outnumbered 2-1. What do you think he's trying to do? He's trying to create an army.
And you think that battle will be fought in the physical plane, not the spirit realm? Perhaps
It'll
both.
be. I mean, eventually, it's going to be fought on this plane and the spirit realm because the veil's being like lifted. We're going to start. I mean, within the next, we're going to start seeing more stuff.
Well, yeah.
So, do you think this coincides with the rise of meme magic?
Who knows at this point?
Adam.
Well, I'm asking like not totally unseriously, because I do think we are entering an age of weirdness at the very least. I'm not by any means a strict materialist. Sorry?
What'd you say, Hazzard?
I said I can agree that we're entering a weird time.
Yeah, it is a very weird time. Yeah. I mean, we're exposing things that are like ancient secret society type things with, ancient magic and ritualistic murder and child sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. And that's being like exposed on like on our level, like, where we can read about it on WikiLeaks, but what's going on like above us, with the powers and principalities that be.
I mean, I believe we're going to start seeing more stuff, like as in like
by stuff,
quote, the veil between this realm, like with like you're going to start seeing like literal angels and demons, like the veil that between our physical realm and the spirit realm that's like right here with us is going to be lifted eventually. We're going to start seeing stuff.
I mean, apparently, according to mythology and the Bible, people used to see this stuff all the time,
Yeah, we used to, yeah.
And now we have what, the veil of technology covering all this stuff, or like the modernity or whatever.
Yeah, like what was his name? George
literacy.
Jordan Romani?
Whoa, whoa, dude. Yeah, now everybody can read. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you're right though. What were you saying, Hazzard?
What was that guy on Red Eyes? Jordan Romani?
Oh yeah, the guy
one who wrote
the guy, yeah.
Prometheus.
Yes, yeah, that guy.
Talking about technology taking away our ability to sense what was there.
Well, I think it's really everything. I mean, animals.
Giorgiani.
Sort of thing anyway.
I forgot his first name.
It's not just technology. It's technology. It's literacy. It's language. It's moving away from kind of, being an animal and towards this other archetype that humans were moving toward. It's not just technology, would deaden you to that sort of thing.
Yeah, but what if this way is in the wrong direction and the iPhone isn't the right way to go?
What?
I'm just saying, like as advanced as we are, we're a lot dumber than we've ever been.
Yeah, that's like when you that's what you get from Julius Evola, man. When you read Evola, you realize we're fucking dumb.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to go to Evola tonight, are we really? I don't know what the Nephilim have to do with Evola.
I can do Evola, but I don't want to do Tradwives, okay?
We're Nephilim
Evola
and children of the gods. Jesus Christ, you guys.
I heard Evola.
We did, and I stopped, and I skipped.
About fucking...
I skipped over.
It was a tangent that made sense.
No, I got your tangent, and then Hazzard went from Evola to Tradwives. We're not doing that.
This is why I say autism.
Yeah, right.
Ted Kaczynski did nothing wrong.
Right?
This isn't very Destra.
Oh my God, Hazzard, shut up. Okay, shoot. Can we talk about giants again? I mean, that was fun. No,
angels and demons.
Yeah, I mean, we got all deep and religious for a second there. We're gonna. I can't wait for the comments. I can't wait for the comments that I'm not gonna respond to. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like, if you leave a shitty comment for me, I'm not gonna fucking respond to you. I don't care. Anyways,
No, Sven negs you, then it's oh shit, we have to go and spur on Airfur about it for a little while.
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
That never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
It'd be okay if it was just a comment, but it's everywhere. Yeah, so this was fun. We talked about giants in the Bible and a lot of Bible stuff, and we didn't even get into the part of the Bible that really I like. And I know you're not really a big Job like Job isn't your book
expert
scholar.
Really?
I'd have to go back and read it.
Right. Well, Job is the one. Job is the one that really gets me, because Job is the only book of the Bible that actually talks about things that we don't have, like Leviathan. What is Leviathan? Was it a dinosaur? Is it a giant lizard? What is it? You know, I mean, it's in the Bible.
Forget Behemoth.
And Behemoth. Yeah. Behemoth and Leviathan are both in the book of Job. If there's anybody out there that listens to this that knows about that and is an expert and that can like direct me in my research, I would love to hear it. Because I've always been like, you know, and like I said before, I watched the anti-Hitler network, their Ancient Aliens show, and I see I see all the time. I see like they show these ancient 6,000 and 7,000 year old carvings of dinosaurs or things that look like dragons or things that look like lizards. And you know, did people live in the time of dinosaurs? Was that a thing? Did that not happen? Was it just a thing that they did on Ancient Aliens with a guy with the giant hair? Who knows? But if you guys out there have some research on that and you want to send it there, our Twitter is what again, Hazzard?
At @the_Paranormies. Our email is paranormiespresent@gmail.com.
Yeah. And Adam, what is it you do around here again?
Covers up Tyler's crimes.
Yeah.
Hey,
pretty much.
God damn it. No, I'm just I had to. I'm sorry. I felt that was necessary.
No, that's right. I cover up crimes.
Yeah, you cover up crimes.
That didn't happen. That were never committed.
Bella, thanks for coming on. This, Jesus Christ, this is probably like between
this episode kicks ass.
It kicks ass. Like, we're talking about like biblical stuff, and there was a lot of people that listen to this show that actually are Bible scholars and are very religious and have never really gotten into the weird part of the Old Testament, you know?
The cool parts.
There is a very deep and weird and cool part of the Old Testament where they talk about giants and lizards and flying things and stuff and, you know? Yeah.
Believing a book written by Jews.
Whoa!
They were Edomites.
All right.
Did you know you're an Edomite?
You know, there's part of this stuff that was deleted from the Torah. So, if the Jews didn't want it.
Yeah, don't even get me started
Edomite
about
was like, delete this.
Hold on. What, Bella?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to be definitely reading in the Old Testament, make sure to read the Greek Septuagint. Do not read the Masoretic text. Because the Masoretic text, that's not, if you compare, say, the complete Jewish Bible to the Septuagint, it reads like two different books. And the King James Version, don't read it because it's based off the Masoretic text.
Yep.
Just read an English translation of the Septuagint when you're reading the Old Testament.
The Septuagint version of the Old Testament is the real version of the Old Testament.
Yeah, it's the best version. It
really
is the best version.
It is. Well, we talk about the best versions of other books on this show all the time. We've discovered what the best version of my comfy chair is. So now we know what the best version of the Bible is. So, Goyim, get right on that. Anyways, we are gonna wrap this episode up with, I believe, do we have another death? Did you do a creepypasta for us this week?
I didn't, but there was a guy in the Discord saying that he had one he wanted me to read.
Oh, all right. So we are going to do an end to this episode.
I don't remember who it was that was saying that to me, though.
All right, well, I'll make you're going to record it, and we'll put it at the end of this episode.
Fine.
How about that? So we are going to close out this episode with another creepypasta from Death. Thanks for listening.
Before I do that, I have to just... Shit.
Go ahead.
I have to say, David. Yeah, you listening, David. I'll see you soon.
Jesus Christ. It's scary as fuck when Death calls you out by name. All right. Bella, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was interesting and fun. And even if Hazzard doesn't believe any of it, because my atheist...
I like how you just keep picking on him.
Fun.
He said it was still fun. We are going to take you out with a creepypasta, and we will see you next week.
Every day I see him. I can't see his eyes, but I know he's staring at me, watching me. I can't bear to look directly at that face on the other side of the glass, but it looks at me all the same. I want to tell somebody, but what could I even say? Who would believe something so crazy? That person in the mirror isn't the person looking into it. It isn't me. I've heard the so-called scientific explanation of photons bouncing from the mirror and reflecting back, but that can't explain this. That person on the other side of that mirror is not me. The way he looks into my eyes and tracks me around the room proves he can't be human. The sound of his footsteps following me even when I leave the mirror proves it. The fact that I can feel him looking over my shoulder even when I'm alone proves it. The other side of the mirror must be a place of unbelievable horror. The fact I can sense his presence in this room at this very moment proves it. Whatever the hell that thing in there is, it isn't me. I smashed the mirror in my bathroom, but still I hear him call to me. Not with his voice, though. I can't explain it very well, but I know he's beckoning me. To where I don't dare consider. I shattered all the mirrors in my car, but I still can't escape him even when I leave the house. Even after I got out of my car, I couldn't escape all of the reflections. I began breaking every window in sight of me just to try and stop him from following. Wherever I go, whatever I do, he's there with me, walking just behind. I hear those footsteps always. Is this what it means to be marked for death? The footsteps are moving ahead of me now. He's walking somewhere. Where is he going? Despite the fear in myself, my body moves on its own. I move away from the road and toward the tree line. I can't see his footprints or hear him crushing leaves underfoot, but I know he's going this way. What the hell am I doing? Why am I following him? No matter how many times I ask myself this, I continue forward. After who knows how long, I find a circular clearing with no trees. I move into the clearing and immediately spot a large rectangular hole. I inch closer and peer into it. There's a person at the bottom, covered in more blood than I would have thought could possibly fit in a human body. Bones are sticking out of it at strange angles along with ghastly segments of torn flesh. I nearly vomit upon seeing it, but something forces me to keep looking. I keep staring at it for a while until I finally am able to get myself to look at its face, and I realize that's my face.